Was United's super sub, and after 240 minutes of semi-final football, United were finally at Wembley, where Brian Robson hoped to lift the FA Cup for a record third time. They faced a young Crystal Palace team masterminded by Steve Coppell, that United old boy and close friend of Alex Ferguson. As the players took the field, the match already had a carnival atmosphere. It was to be an all-time classic.
So the first FA Cup final of the 1990s is about to get underway. Palace start the game. As has already been said, this surface is in quite marvellous condition. Brian Robson himself said to me he can't recall the Wembley pitch looking and feeling better. You can't play on this, was his pre-match comment. Well, perhaps you shouldn't be here. Gray. He was flattened the second time. Danny Wallace. Steve Coppell making a few notes. Of course, they sit so close to each other at Wembley, the two managers. Thorne O'Reilly's in there. And was it over the line? And it's a goal. Gary O'Reilly. After 19 minutes, it was in the net before Steve Bruce could get his foot to it. And Crystal Palace, the underdogs, have taken the lead in precisely the way many people expected. The free kick, I think it was bent in by Barber there. Whether that came off Pallister's head as well, I'm not quite sure. O'Reilly's taken the congratulations. It was bent in by Gray. And was that Pallister or O'Reilly? Anyway, Bruce couldn't keep it out, and Palace are in front. Wallace, good ball in. Hughes is there, McClair. And I think that hit a Palace player last. That's a corner. Webb will take the corner. Pallister on the near post. McClair on the goal line. Bruce and Robson waiting to come in. A back header. Oh, goodness me. I think that was probably Mark Bright who actually got his head to that. So look at it again. Yes, number 9 for Palace. Ince. That's a good-looking ball from McClair. Wallace comes near post. Wallace. McClair. Robson. Goal! Brian Robson equalises for Manchester United after 35 minutes, and Captain Marvel is there again. Now, good play here. Danny Wallace just worked the ball out wide. The cross was delivered long to the far post, and Brian Rolls, a deflection off a defender as well there. Well, what an exciting cup final we've got here now. Great emotion in the crowd. Palace making them work so hard to get forward. Phelan. Wallace. Ince. Solaka having another good game at left back, which was something of an unfamiliar position to him at the beginning of the season. And Paul Ince was the player who stopped there. Webb. Alice Grant Wallace. A ricochet. Hughes! 2-1 to Manchester United. And a devastating finish by Mark Hughes. And I have to say the Palace defence were pussyfooting around a bit there, really. They had their chance to clear. Thorne didn't do so. And when it came to Hughes' left foot, that was a deadly goal scorer's instinct. Webb back to Wallace, and there goes Robson, onside. Hughes coming in from the far post, but it's Brian Robson, and a good challenge by Alan Pardew, forcing Robson to shoot wide at the last. I would think that Bobby Robson up in the stand, Trevor, would be very pleased to see Brian Robson so active and so involved.
Well, those sort of runs are the ones he's famous for, and that's that sort of run which got him his semi-final goal, wasn't it, against Oldham. But on that occasion, Alan Pardew did very well, worked back. He couldn't quite get in the tackle because it was in a dangerous situation, could have conceded a penalty, but just shouldered him off balance enough so as he couldn't hit a good shot.
Now here's White, his first chance to show what he can do. And he's through! It's White! Oh, what an impact by the substitute! It's 2-2! And it's Ian Wright who has sent the Palace supporters into ecstasy.
Yes, United weren't the only ones with a potential match winner on the bench. That superb strike from Ian Wright forced the match into extra time.
Bobby Charlton and the other Manchester United directors will be more than a little concerned here about the outcome because, as I said earlier on, the club is going through something of a turbulent time at board level as well. Webb, O'Reilly, Salako, who's playing further forward now that Shaw is in an orthodox left-back position here. In fact, Salako is playing wide on the left in Barber's old position. Phelan is challenging him. Right! Goal! It's here right again! Palace are in front at 3-2. And Steve Coppell has made... He's made one of the great substitutions. We're coming up to the halfway point in the extra period. This is Ince for Manchester United. And the whistle goes. There's still 15 minutes more. Wembley bathed in sunshine now. Palace leading 3-2. Robson. Webb to Wallace. Hughes goes through the middle, chance in for 3-3. Mark Hughes! He scores his second of the game, and Manchester United have saved themselves. The ball just sucked through by Danny Wallace, and the central defenders gave him too much space. O'Reilly wasn't close enough, and Hughes steered it past Martin. And with just 7 minutes of extra time to go, the score is 3-3.
Mark Hughes, the saviour then, in a match dominated by two centre-forwards. 5 days later, the teams returned to Wembley. This time, Ferguson